but the topic today is how to use NetDocs and SharePoint. All right, so real quick, before we start that, I always like to do a check on a couple things. NetDocs updates. How do I find out what's going on with NetDocs? I'm going to go NetDocuments, web refreshes. All right, this is the page. We will post this in the chat. This is telling you what is going on new with NetDocs. All right, and this is one of the reasons I am doing this today is April 10th. These are the changes that are going to be made. And you can kind of see here, let's see if there's anything good. New log entries for home pages. All right. I don't know, I haven't really gone over this. March 27th, this is the reason what I really wanted to go over is the large files. We're going to talk about it in the training today, all right? So large files, this is a biggie that is semi-available now. It's not available with ND Office, but it is available with the add upload if we have the ability. That's the big thing is when I started my career in NetDocs in 2010, file size limit was 1 gigabyte. Everyone complained. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they changed it to 2 gigabytes. Everyone still complained. It is now 50 gigabytes. You should not be this is going to cause other things to complain about, but that's not one of the things that I would technically complain about. So again, web refreshes is telling you new stuff that is coming out with NetDocs. Optimal updates here real quick. Let's go over to our web page. Upcoming events. So today, April 9th, how to use NetDocs in SharePoint. End of the month, and it's usually the last Wednesday of every month, NetDocs office hours. We're going to go over NetDocs questions. That's you asking any question you have about NetDocs, and I will attempt to answer it. May 7th, I'm doing a 2-hour Windows training on generic data. You've got new employees, have them sign up for it, okay? It won't be done with your data, but it will be done, and I will answer questions. And then May 14th, DLP, data loss prevention. This is an add-on module with NetDocs. Your firm may or may not have purchased it. If they have, this is great, or you're curious about it. It's pretty nerdy. May 28th, an office hours, and then June 4th. For you Mac users, I've got a training just for you I will be doing on my Mac. All right, let's jump back into the PowerPoint. Just like a regular training, we'll be in the PowerPoint for a couple of minutes. But let's talk about using NetDocs and SharePoint. There are a variety of reasons to do this. One, data storage costs. Trust me, I've looked at the names on this call. Some of you have complained to me about NetDocs bills and your storage, okay? NetDocs storage is not as cheap as other things because it is so fast to search for something that there's a little penalty there. If you want to be able to find something instantaneously, it's all referred to as hot storage, okay? Costs more than cold storage, where you can't find things as quickly. So if you've had issues with the NetDocs storage, this webinar will be good for you. A couple other points here. One, NetDocs is aware of this. That's why they made a major change to their data center, move it to AWS. So if you are running into storage issues, contact me. We can get together with your NetDocs sales rep. It's much more favorable than it's been in the past. That's one. So we can take advantage of that. And then we're going to go over this webinar today to kind of explain, hey, there's some areas where we can take these large files and maybe put them in a place that's not in NetDocs, but kind of looks like they're in NetDocs. This is the one main reason that I am doing this webinar. I've tried to get ahead of this issue in the past where, like, if you're, and I know some of you are newer to NetDocs, we changed this maybe 2 or 3 years ago when we migrated people to NetDocs. We're like, hey, we probably shouldn't be importing zip files, videos, and PSTs. And we say we should put those somewhere else. This webinar is the somewhere else. I'm actually going to include it in the email to new firms like, hey, I'm saying not to import this stuff. This is how we're going to deal with it. NetDocs is not Netflix, okay? It's not a great place for video. There's a blog post I did about storing documents in a service called Vimeo, which I think is great, and linking them back to NetDocs. I think there's a lot of value there. However, almost everyone on this call owns Office 365 and is sitting with like almost like a terabyte of storage or more of Office 365. We're going to talk about putting videos in Office 365 and specifically in SharePoint, okay? It is a much better way of viewing videos than it is just putting them in NetDocs, and we'll go over that in this webinar today. But NetDocs has the word documents in there. It's not net videos. It is not Netflix. It's not great for video, although video can still be stored in there. All right, you cannot search video, PST, or zip files. Let me be a little bit clearer because this is the use case for storing stuff in SharePoint and linking it back to NetDocs. In NetDocs, we have an everything search. We type in a word like case, it goes in the body of every PDF, every Excel file, every email attachment, and brings us a list of results. You can't do that for a video. NetDocs is not searching in the video. If there's a Outlook PST file, it's not looking in the PST file. It is not looking in the zip file. Realistically, the only thing NetDocs is searching is the name of the document. So if you have a crime scene video, if you type in the name crime scene, it will find that video, but you can't do really anything else, which is another reason why I want to put this stuff in SharePoint and link it back to NetDocs. We lose nothing. We lose nothing, but we kind of don't blow up our storage in NetDocs. And again, this is the reason. If you're on Office 365, you've got a terabyte of storage sitting there, not being used. And if you need to buy more storage, it's cheaper because it's not as efficient as NetDocs. And also, I mean, NetDocs is not as big as Microsoft with the economies of scale. All right, so we're going to get into this, and I'm going to show you how I deal with this. All right, so I am going to come over, and we are in my demo NetDocs account. I have this matter, Bluth Company LLC formation. I am going to switch it to list view. All right. Now, you see here, I've uploaded this video. It is called Video of Crime Scene. That is right here, Video of Crime Scene. It is an actual video I uploaded to NetDocs. I want to watch the video. I'm going to click on it. Don't worry, it's not a crime scene video. If you're looking really closely, do you see what's happening? It's not playing. It is downloading locally on my computer. That's my problem with putting any of this stuff in NetDocs. It does not really check out. So then I've got to go locally on my computer. Then I have to have a video player, and then I have to choose to play it. All right? So one of the reasons I don't like putting this stuff in NetDocs is because you have to download it on your computer. What happens if you're in a public area without good Wi-Fi? well, then it's going to take forever to download locally. Now, notice I've got video of crime scene, the exact same thing. If you look closely, you see there's a little link there. Let's look what happens when we click here. Video appears here. There's the video. I can hit play. We even have Microsoft generating a freaking transcript of the entire video now. By the way, I could act like I knew this was about to happen. I did not, because I just prepared. Of course, I just prepared for this webinar right before. But how cool is this? All right, this is the complete. So NetDocs, SharePoint is creating a transcript of this video. I guess I could even download that transcript as a Word document. Wow. Even a better reason to put the video in there. If we hit play, it is going to play the video. I don't have to download it onto my computer. All right. How did I do this? So in SharePoint, I've created a SharePoint library called Clients Demo. We'll get into this in a little bit. All right. I've kind of mirrored this to clients I have. So I have 999, the Bluth company. I basically went in and created a folder, just like I have 999, the Bluth company. And then I just created a folder here called 001 LLC formation. And then I uploaded the video to it. How did I upload the video? I clicked on upload. I selected a location from my computer. Then I linked the video to NetDocs. We will go over this towards the end, okay? So I'm going to tell you right now, most of your users, besides people on this call, unless they realize, they can see that what is the difference here? There is just the icon is the only real difference. But your attorneys, and some of you are attorneys on this call, will be like, oh yeah, this video is in NetDocs. It is not in NetDocs. I've just taken advantage of the linking feature to make it look like it is in NetDocuments. So in this LLC formation matter, we have linked a video. At the end of the training, I'm going to show you how I do it because we're going to link some stuff. We're going to actually do this real live here. So some of the pushback, and I haven't gone over it yet, is when we do all this sort of stuff, like what, I've got to link one video at a time. Let's come over to another matter here, matter 002. In this matter, I created a folder called SharePoint. I'm going to click on that folder called SharePoint. There are 3 links here. Let's click on the second one, videos. When we click on the second one, videos, this screen opens up and there are 3 videos in here. In this example, I'm not linking each video individually. I am linking the folder from SharePoint into NetDocuments. Now, the other examples here are zip files. Do we really want to put a zip file in NetDocs? I don't see a reason to. So if we click here, here is a zip file of discovery documents. If we click here, it actually does a better job of showing what's in there. NetDocs would force us to download. So this is actually pretty cool that it actually does this. Again, it's just a much better place. And then I have a zip file, a link to a folder called PST, and it's got Outlook PST files. Here, when we click on it, you're just going to have to download the PST files. So again, this is I'm showing you the end result first, okay, of what it looks like when we actually do this. All right. Now let's just see here. All right, so we're linking to Vimeo videos works well also. I find it easier to share with others. Okay, so let me just come up with this. Rachel, thank you for the comment. Let's do this. Vimeo and NetDocs. This is how I find everything. Oh, I can't believe that didn't come up first. Okay, this is the original article I wrote. And honestly, this is what we do because Vimeo is like dirt cheap. I mean, it's like stupidly cheap. All right. So let me just paste this in here. Vimeo is a service. I don't make any money off Vimeo, but I mean, also I really couldn't because it's so cheap. How much money would they actually pay me if I was recommending people? But Vimeo is a service that we use. Like all our Zooms go to Vimeo, and if you've ever had me, like this training today is going to Vimeo, and then we're going to send everyone a link because it's so cheap. I go over how to link Vimeo documents here. Vimeo is good for sharing stuff. It's also good for transcribing videos. So, Rachel, thank you for bringing that up. All right. So, I've showed you the end result. Let's go over how I would actually do this. All right. So, I'm going to come over to Massive Dynamic here, okay, which is a matter that I have in NetDocs. I am now going to jump over to SharePoint. All right. Now I've got a folder here, 999 Bluth Company. I am going to create a folder 1001 Massive Dynamic. All right. Folder 1001 Massive Dynamic. Okay. I've created the folder. Now, and look, you might just be running clients in NetDocs. In that case, you just have to create the client, but I'm going to come over here and create a matter called 103 General Docket. I'm keeping everything consistent. 103 dash General Docket. All right, this is creating folders. Now we have the folder here. In this instance, it's kind of, we got to figure out what we want to do. I will create a folder for videos. Add folder, videos. All right, so now I have a folder, and of course I've misspelled videos. So now I'm going to come over to rename, and now I'm going to update the folder. All right, here is our folder. I'm going to now come over to upload, choose files. On my desktop, let's open up here, and let's grab this video, open, and now it is uploading. Now, Rachel, you were completely right, because let me show you how I add this video to NetDocs now, and I completely agree with what you said. I'm going to come over to the share button here, and what do I want to do here? Like, let's come over here. Who do I want to share this with? And you can give some options, but if we click on the gear here, people in Optiable. This would be people in your law firm. So you have to be able to log into the SharePoint site. This is totally internal. We could set this up externally, but we're not doing that. This is internal for people at my company. I am now going to hit apply and then copy link. Let's come over to NetDocs. All right. And then I'm going to come over to add link/URL. I'm going to paste the URL here, because we copied the URL. I'm pasting it here. And then under link name, crime scene video. And now I'm going to hit OK. What do I have to do next? Profile. I got to profile this just like it's a document. All right. So we'll come over here. Let's choose Massive Dynamic, General Docket. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose Discovery. And I can put something like crime scene video showing the incident. And again, comments are text searchable. Also, crime scene video is searchable. All right. So there it is. So if we're actually now, let's come back to massive dynamic, and we look at this in list view. There's the video. If we come over to the filter discovery, we will also see the video in there. There's the video. When we go to click on it, again, it is coming up here with the ability to play the video in here. And it looks like right now we don't have it, but it is going to create a transcript of the video, which is amazing. That's the add-on that I didn't even know actually would do this. All right. That is option 1. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. All right. Now, the other way to do it is to come over here, and let's just come back to massive dynamic. And you don't have to do it exactly this way, but I've created a folder called SharePoint here. All right, and these are my SharePoint links. So we're going to come back to our massive dynamic general docket here. Instead of linking the individual video, I'm going to open up the videos folder. I'm then going to pull the URL. The URL is right here, just a copy, right click, copy. And then I'm going to click on add link / URL. And then I'm going to put, we're going to paste the name here. We're going to put videos. I want it to be in, and I could call this videos folder maybe to be a little more specific. I want it to be in the SharePoint folder here. So that's why it's sitting here, and I'm going to hit OK. I will have to give this a doc type because that's the rules of my system. All right, so we're going to come over here and I'll give this discovery, and then I'm going to hit continue. Now, what's the reason you would do it this way? So if you link that folder once, you don't have to link each individual video. So when I click on the videos folder now, it's just going to open up the folder in SharePoint. So the value of doing that is if we upload more videos, like if I come over here and grab this one and upload. Now, if we come and look here on the folder, the video's there. So I don't have to link it each specific time. Now, I have to be very clear about one thing here. I am not a Microsoft expert. I'm not an IT expert. I'm a NetDocs expert, but I'm able to fool around here and kind of figure out, okay, what I did in SharePoint is I created a SharePoint library for that basically links to my client cabinet. This is what I would tell your IT people to do. Okay, hey, in SharePoint, create a library called clients, have it, linked to whatever you call your NetDocs client cabinet. And then we're going to come in here and you can create folders that match the client and matter, and then link things back and forth. Okay, that's one option. All right, the other option here, and this is maybe how you want to handle it, and there's a reason I'm including it in here, but I'm not an expert about this. If you are using Teams, which at Optibule, we are using Teams. Every time we create a team, it creates a library, okay? So that might be the better play there. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it really matters that much, but like I created this massive Dynamics Teams here, and there is a file location here where I can drag stuff and I could copy the link as well. So if you're using Teams, it kind of almost does this for you, okay? That's the link to the videos, PST, and zip files. and you can just drag stuff or use the upload button here. So if we come over here to get that stuff as well, but that's just depends on how you're using things. So let me come over here and let me grab this video. So it's uploading that video here. All right, let's, yeah, I love this. So what do I need help with is administering SharePoint. How do I set up security, structure, organization in SharePoint? That I find confusing. I mean, honestly, I get that question because like that's the thing that's the blowback I've gotten when I'm like, do this. I don't know if, I don't know, look, there's IT people on here and the ones on here are good. So I mean, what I want to do is, one of the reasons I'm recording this video is just to be like, hey, send this video to your IT person, then they'll see what we need and we're good from here. So to answer this question, create a library in SharePoint and Microsoft 365. All right, so I had Jeff at our office go and be like, hey, Jeff, just go over creating a library here. And Jeff created this document. I will include this in the page that just goes over creating this. So, and then what members can see it. Yeah, so here's the question, and Rachel, I think you hit the nail on the head too, is OneDrive is in a sense SharePoint, okay? I mean, again, I would say, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but SharePoint is like the back end of OneDrive. So even if you're using OneDrive, like it's the back end of it is SharePoint. All right, I could be completely wrong. Again, expertise is in NetDocs, not Office 365, and you know Microsoft changes everything all the time, so I get more confused. But if we come over here now onto my computer, notice that I can link different, like this is SharePoint here. I can synchronize stuff. I can come over, let's just do this. So we've been setting up the Bluth company here. When I click on sync, okay, this is, so we're in SharePoint. We've created this area. When we click on synchronize here, OneDrive is basically going to synchronize everything in this SharePoint library locally on my computer. All right, and then we're going to see it show up in the Windows Explorer right here. And then notice everything is coming down. Now, the other nice thing about this is it's not actually synchronizing it unless I go over to OneDrive and tell it that. It's just showing me where it is. And this is more of like I click on it and it will download. So there we go. Teams, OneDrive, all live in SharePoint. Thank you here. But this is the other thing I've seen people do using this method is now we're using OneDrive to synchronize these folders here. And maybe this is a little bit easier for you to come in and to get this stuff into. So let's just come over here. We've got our folder here now. And if we just drag stuff over like this PST, it's going to come up and synchronize into, see it says syncing. This is going to go up into the SharePoint library. And like I said, if I've synchronized the mediation matter with NetDocs, it's just going to show up there. Man, these are some good questions. Let me just show here if I've covered everything. I don't see any other questions. I mean, hopefully this is useful to you and just goes over how I handle these large files. Because the thing that scares me, and so we are literally about to hit our 500th NetDocs install, which is going to be next Monday. Okay, I'm going to hit the 500 NetDocs install. Wait, is it next? Yeah, it is. No, it's the following Monday. I'm actually going to be on site, you know, just to make things special. I've had 2 firms set up retention policies in NetDocs. So 2 out of 500. Okay. So no one removes stuff from NetDocs. And so I get it from both ends. I understand where you as clients are coming from. I understand where NetDocs is coming from. I think this bridges the gap here. We can take a terabyte of stuff that didn't never need to be in NetDocs anyway, but your users will think it is in NetDocs. And there's a variety of ways of doing it. Now, I will tell you, Jeff, who's awesome at my office, I was like, Jeff, is there the ability to create Power Automate? So when we create a new client in Matter in NetDocs, it creates the folder in SharePoint. And Jeff was like, dude, I spent a week on it. There's no way to do that. So you're going to have to create the folders. But I mean, that's coming over here and going to folder and hit create and then create the folder. And then you will either link the individual video or you will link the folder, which makes it a little bit easier. Oh, thank you on 500. Yes. You know, my wife is really impressed. Just roll her eyes there. But um, this is, I know this one is quick, but again, the idea here is to if we take this video and maybe email it to your outside IT, you will all get a copy of this video tomorrow. Then I think it's helpful. All right. So here's the thing. It's easier for users to embrace OneDrive and SharePoint. Yeah, I think so, except for this one thing here, is that what I've done, and this is where I think it's worked, if you treat ShareFile like this is just a link to ShareFile, okay? And actually this documents is the actual link here. So then I, send it out to everyone. I'm like, bookmark it, or even bookmark this, the client's demo right here. Send this out, and you know what we could do? All right, so this is the link to client's demo. Oh God, this is such a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about it before. Keep asking questions because it really turns the light bulb on. All right, this is what I'm going to do. Add, okay, link/URL. I'm going to do the client's SharePoint site. All right, so this is a link. We're going to hit OK here. Now I'm going to have to save it somewhere, but I don't really care where I'm saving it. And so I'm just going to get through the saving process. And you could be better on this, like upload documents here. Okay, client SharePoint site. I'm going to right click, add to the cabinet homepage. All right, this is going to be a webinar, by the way, that I'm going to do this year on cabinet homepages. Other thing is send homepage link. So this right here, and I don't know if a lot of you knew that you could actually do this. So I've got the link now to SharePoint. So if we click on this link here, here it is. And then you can come in here and hit upload, right? So there's two things we should do if you're going to go this route. One is you could email this to everyone. All right, so we're going to come over here, right click, send homepage link. This, well, for you, this should open up Outlook. But the other thing I'm going to do is add it to the cabinet homepage. So if we come over to the client's demo page now, there's the link to the site right there. And we should train all our users if we're going this route to do it. And then here, go into video and then hit upload. It's right there. Like, so you could actually link that actual location to SharePoint, and then it's easier. The upload works really, really well. And again, the thing that blows my mind that I did not know when we started this training is the ability for this thing to go in and it's creating transcriptions of the video and stuff like that. Okay, what are your best practices when you choose to move files out of NetDocs and into SharePoint? Oh, okay. So let me try to answer that without you having to hire me, but honestly, that could be one of the scenarios that you have to hire me. Let's come over. There's a variety of ways to answer this question. NetDocs has, let's see, best ways of getting this stuff out of NetDocs and into SharePoint. All right, if we open up the client's demo cabinet and I come over to file extensions and I type in PST, okay? Even though that's not an option, you can type in PST and hit search. It will find all the PSTs in there. Now, you could come over here and go more, and then you could come over to download and you could download it, okay? That is option one. But I mean, if you have 400 PSTs in there, they're just going to download all. They're not going to be in the actual individual folders. If you have, so that would work. And I mean, the other thing that you could do here, I mean, if you wanted to put a runner or someone on that, this is how I started my career. Let's see here. Sorry, allergies. Same here, MP3. You could do a search here, MP Video 4. You could find it that way and download. Not super efficient, but it would work. I mean, you could go in there. The other option is you tell me, hey, Craig, we want to get this stuff out. I have a product called ND Toolkit, which you have to be licensed on, and I could do a search in NetDocs for all your video, PST, zip files. I could export them out into a Windows folder structure. I could send them to you, and then you could upload that structure into SharePoint. I can do that quickly, but it's going to cost you money. So that's hiring me. I mean, so you're either going to have to do it manually or you're going to have to hire a NetDocs consultant to export that out. I mean, the nice thing about that toolkit product is that I can dump everything out the way it's structured now. If you have ND Sync, you know, you can come over here and hit sync workspace. That'll synchronize the entire workspace down, but it's synchronizing the stuff like that you don't want as well, like all the Word files and Excel files and stuff like that. Once you got everything synchronized out, we would then purge it in NetDocs. Whole workspaces is ND Sync. You know, let me come over here. Let's do this. Exporting files out of NetDocs. This is a 4-part series we did, but I haven't done the ND Mirror part yet. So mass export tool, everyone complains to me about it, so maybe don't do that. If you have ND Sync, I explain here how to synchronize an entire workspace down locally or a folder in a workspace down locally, and you can use that to get that out. Like, that's great if a client wants their file back. You know, like you synchronize that one workspace. ND Mirror, which I have not written about here, but I will create a post, is an add-on product that will sync your entire NetDocs repository to a server. And from there, it's easy to grab stuff out. And then this one right here, which is we talked about, is hire a NetDocs consultant. Some of you, I'm not your consultant, so you're working with another NetDocs consultant. Hire a NetDocs consultant to export that stuff out. Tips on getting files that are more than 20 years old, please share. I mean, the tip is the bill from NetDocs, I think, is like, hey, we need to get that stuff out. Is there a way to bulk move files from SharePoint to NetDocs without having to download everything first? Yeah, that one is going to be problematic. And there is, like, I have a client right now that needs me to move them from SharePoint to NetDocs, and it is not easy. I have bought a product from another consulting company called Element. They have a SharePoint extractor. I'm going to run that and see if it works. I think it is, and that's probably something that I would use. I don't know if but you're going to have to download it first. I don't think there's a way of just getting. There is not a cloud to cloud migration. That's what people call me up sometimes. They're like, just do a cloud to cloud migration. Like, doesn't work that way. We always, regardless if it's NetDocs, FileVine, Centerbase, we're using Windows as the conduit to transfer those documents. So Let me go through here. Any other questions? All right. Hopefully I wanted to keep this quick. I wanted you to see the end result. And again, at the end of the day, I want you to be able to send this to your IT company and be like, just create the SharePoint library, which also exists. The one thing to think about, and this is because I was at a technology conference the other week and I didn't really understand, is when you create a Teams channel, it is creating a SharePoint library for that team, and maybe you should be storing the files in there. I'd ask your IT person, not a Microsoft expert, so I'm going to have a hard time answering that question. We will do I'll go over when I ever have free time, but I want to do a webinar on the cabinet home pages, which we just talked about. So that's where I come over here. There's the link to the SharePoint site now. And I want to do a webinar on talking about user home pages and cabinet home pages and how to really take effect. So we will add that webinar shortly. I appreciate everyone's time today. You will get this email to you tomorrow or the next day. Okay. Well, okay. I mean, I'm hearing everyone say don't store it in the Teams channel, so create a general channel there. Thank you. This is the advice I need from you. Oh, do not store any files in Teams rather than general. So you're talking about the actual Teams channel, like this one right here. This would be the only place to store the files. So in the general channel and nowhere else. Okay. Searching in Teams is not idea. Okay. Yeah. Again, so maybe the recommendation here is SharePoint library. But talk to your IT pro about this, which is not me, because you realize I'm fumbling around this issue. We created a SharePoint library. We are not using Teams. So maybe, again, ask that person for that advice. All right. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm going to add some more webinars on there. The schedule is there right now to sign up for it, but we will be adding more. I hope everyone has a great day. Hopefully I'm not as sick the next time we do one of these. All right, I will talk to you later.